Welcome in. Another snapped. Oh my God, snapped? No, dude. He said snapped podcast. That's so 2024. Oh God. TK Pod. Welcome in. Thanks for being here. Um, we said last week that there's a possibility we could get kicked in the teeth. We could just get totally reset. Everything could be flipped on its head from week one. And eh, perception wise, on my end, it certainly feels that way. Now, reality tells a different story. This is going to be the week one. Will be the week one full recap. It'll be the week two recap, um, and in the week three preview. Obviously, last week we recapped an amazing first week in the CrossFit Open for myself. We had a nearly top 300 in the world finish on 25.1, and it was great. 2 attempts, felt really good. Even finished that good run and felt like I had 10 to 15 more reps in the tank. Felt like I could have been top 150 or top 100 in the world, which is something that I have never done before in an open workout. We've discussed, you know, the the nuances of the open and how this sort of works with 100,000 people competing. And it gave me a lot of confidence. It was a massive confidence boost. Even through this week after um a, a slightly disappointing result in week 2, at least on my end. Uh It was the training mentality and intensity that I've taken to the days that are not open focused, where I'm just, in my training it's been amazing. I have a lot of confidence from that first week. Now that certainly got a you know, we got a dent in the armor of that a little bit in week 2, and I said it could happen. It didn't really. Nothing's catastrophic. It's not the end of the world, but we did not get top 300 in the world on 25.2. We got 2300th in the world. Now, some of you may say, "Well, that's pretty good. 120,000 guys doing this competition. You got 2300th out of 120,000. That's still top 2%." Yes, it is. Won't go over the logistics behind exactly what we're looking at as far as qualifying, but a 2300th finish certainly brings us closer to the average, closer to the cut line of what's going to be that semifinals level. That's obviously our goal after week one. It's been our goal the whole time. We were unsure about how realistic that was this year since they're just taking the top 1% from the open, and I've only ever done that once. And it was going to be a significantly decreased participation rate, meaning the 1% number was going to be lower. So we didn't know where we were at after week 1. All things shifted to we're trying to make the semifinals. And that's still the goal. I still think it's in within reach. It's a lot more in jeopardy than it was after week 1, but we're here, we're battling, and it's good to learn lessons and get knocked on your ass a little bit, bring me back down to earth, make me fight in week 3, which is absolutely what this is going to be. Uh So let's get into it. Week 2 comes out. There's rumors that this is, well, first of all, Dave Castro, guy who programs these workouts in the CrossFit world, says like a week or two before, there's going to be a repeat workout. What does that mean? It means that a previous open workout from years past is going to be repeated for this year. He gives a couple clues. It essentially comes down to like 6 or 7 workouts. Like it wasn't hard to pick out. There's only 3 to 5 every year. He only gave us like a 4-year window of which it was going to be repeated from. So kind of knew that it was probably going to be a thruster pull up workout. There's like 3 or 4 different variations over the past 5 years that they could have pulled out. No one knew if it was going to be in week 2 or week 3, but people are starting to leak workouts, and the secrecy veil of the CrossFit corporate and keeping these workouts in house until they're actually officially announced is very, very poor. And so people kind of knew that 22.3 was probably going to be the workout, and it was. That workout, you can look it up, is 21 pull-ups, 42 double unders, 21 thrusters, 18 chest to bar pull-ups, 36 double unders, 18 thrusters, 15 bar muscle ups, 30 double unders, 15 thrusters. So the it's pulling movement on the rig, a couple double unders, and then thruster. The pulling movement gets more advanced as you go into each round. Starts with regular chin over bar, then you have to go chest to bar, then you go to bar muscle ups at the last round. The weight gets heavier. 21 at 95, 18 at 115, finally 15 at 135. So it starts off very mild, gets very bad. And I did this workout in 2022. So 2022, this was 22.3 originally. It was the final workout of 2022. And that was the first year that I it's funny now looking back, but I told myself, my training that year, I even have the 6-month like program and like phase schedule that I from like September to February that I planned out of like I'm going to start at this volume and then I'm going to increase here and then I'm going to go to 2 days here and I'm going to start doing this and this here. I had a really like well thought out kind of phase thing, but I was just so new to competitive CrossFit at that time, which sounds crazy because let's see, that would have been 3 years ago. I was 27 years old. Like 27 is when you're kind of at your prime in CrossFit, and I decided at 27 that was going to be the first year I was competitively training, with a emphasis on like I want to see how good I can be at this. And so I had 6 months of legitimate CrossFit training. Most of it was at home. In fact, all of it was at home in the old house where I didn't have several pieces of equipment. The pull up bar was under my deck outside and well, the meat of those months, November, December, January, February, in prep for the Open, which has a ton of toes to bar. This workout specifically, pull ups, chest to bar muscle ups. Um, those months are very cold in Iowa, snowy, a horrible, like windy, like bad. So the amount of like legitimate pull ups I did or bar muscle up work I ever did, uh, I minimal, like hardly at all. So I was not prepared for this workout in 22.3. Um, as I really wasn't prepared for any of the workouts at a real competitive level in 2022. I'd been doing this again for 6 months. So looking back on that entire year is kind of funny. I got 921 that year. And I remember specifically like the muscle ups took me so long that by the time I was done with them, my heart rate and breathing had recovered to where the double unders and the thrusters actually weren't that bad in the final round. Like embarrassing level of time it took me to do 15 bar muscle ups. Now, a bit of the same story. Still got hung up on the bar muscle ups in this workout. That is the crux of it for me. Uh, a glaring weakness and uh, relative to the field, a glaring weakness and point of emphasis that's going to be made for me this upcoming year. Although I've made a lot of progress on it, I improved my time by almost 2 minutes. We went 9:21 and 22. In 25 this year, we improved to 7 minutes and 28 seconds, and that was a I would I would give that a B minus performance for me, maybe a B. Um, Strategy wise, it was hard to tell because again, my fitness has gotten so much better in 3 years since that time that I wasn't even I was going to get a completely different stimulus in this workout, and it's true, I did, than I did last time. And so, strategy wise, the way I work is I watch other people who are of similar fitness to me, of similar placements on past leaderboards over the past year, people who I think match up with, with how with the same good movements that I have or struggle with the same stuff that I do. And I base it off of that. And I watch a ton of videos and I listen to a bunch of strategy videos and then we give it a go. Right. And so I knew that it was gonna be all about the bar muscle ups. I didn't know that I was gonna struggle still as much as I did. Did the first attempt on Friday morning, and we're about to get to the part of why I'm more disappointed. Again, I won't bury the lead here. I got 20, I was 2,337th on this workout out of 120,000 people. Um, Worse than 300th in the world, but you add those two scores together. I'm currently still in the top 1,200. I'm still in the top 1%. I'm still in qualifying range for the next round. So nothing is lost. Everything is still on the table. We're still there. The reason I'm so disappointed in the workout is because I know I can do better and like significantly better. And I attempted this workout 3 times and I only actually completed it 1 time, 1 full time, and that was my 7:28 run. And that's what's disappointing is quitting workouts or not being able to finish for a certain reason, not putting forth a best effort at least twice, not getting at least 2 scores to try like I just felt like there was a lot of meat left on this bone this week, and, I'll tell you, it was a hell of a mental battle over the weekend because, after week 1, I set myself up so good. I'm already starting to think about semifinals and, like, what training could potentially look like for that, and I'm finally gonna accomplish this goal, and this workout comes out, and I actually think, like, "Damn, this shouldn't be that bad for me. I've gotten better. It's a shorter workout. I'm better at shorter work." And then bang, I get smacked in the face. Friday morning, I go in to attempt this workout at the gym. Um, I warm up. I feel decent. Got another shitty night of sleep. My nights of sleep on Thursday into Friday morning have been horrible because I'm just so stoked for the workout. I got to work on calming myself down. I go in. I start the workout, and my plan, my rep scheme, everything goes to shit almost immediately. My heart rate skyrockets through the roof for no reason. I'm out of sync on my pull-ups. I can't, in CrossFit to go fast, you're doing the butterfly kind of swinging pull-ups. I can't even like find a rhythm. I'm all over the place. I pick up the barbell, and the barbell feels 20 or 30 pounds heavier than it ever should. And I get 4 minutes into the workout and realize I'm in trouble. Like, I don't feel nearly as good as I should right now. Part of being at the level I am competitively in the CrossFit world is even when workouts are supposed to hurt, when you feel off or something is wrong. Something was wrong Friday morning. And I got to the muscle ups. I did a set of 3. I realized how horrible I felt and how poorly the back round, that 3rd round was going to go, the rest of those 12 muscle ups, the double unders into the 135 thruster, and I looked at Ty, who was helping, with, my bars and making sure I did all my reps. I looked at him and I said, "Screw it, I'm done." And he kinda looked at me and was like, "Yeah, you just don't feel it, do you?" And I was like, "I don't know what's wrong, but something's wrong." And I quit. No time, no attempt. DQ'd attempt, which is embarrassing, right? Like, that's tough. And it is what it is, right? Like, I'm trying to get the best time. I have times in mind. So if I'm not around those performances, we gotta figure out a way to save, in my mind, it was like, "Well, screw this. I'm gonna repeat this at least once, maybe twice, depending on how the next one goes. I need my body to be feeling as good as possible." So saving myself on 12 muscle ups and 15 heavy thrusters where I was already compromised in that workout, was gonna make my body feel the best going forward. So I quit, and it's fine. It's fine. The problem with that is now in my head, I'm confused. I don't I'm not sure that I was actually feeling bad or if that workout actually just makes me like if I'm actually just that bad at that workout. I don't know if something was actually off or if I just suck, right? So I'm in that mental space for the entire 24 hours until I repeat it on Saturday. I'm going back and forth. Well, what should my strategy be since I felt so bad? Should I go slower? All this stuff. Um, I mean, just fully consumed, eating away at me. I run the workout Saturday afternoon after getting a lunch in me. Wife is changing weight plates for me as I go from round to round, and I felt better. I was conservative. Looking back, I actually probably ran about the correct plan. Um, but again, I felt like I was being conservative and holding back now because I was kind of scared of how bad I felt the first time on Friday morning. I get to the muscle ups and I felt like I did them okay, but it's always one of those things that when you look back, you realize, damn, I wasted too much time. I should have went bigger. I should have held on for another rep here, another rep there. I should have jumped up 5 seconds sooner there. Time started to suck away, and I just spent too much time on the bar muscle ups. And then I got because my whole goal was to get a time in the sixes. 6:59 would have made me happy. Because that time slipped away as I got towards the back set of double unders and thrusters. I got a little bit soft on the thrusters and went 3 sets when in reality I could have went 15 straight or at least 9-6, saved a few seconds there. You look up, you finish that last thruster, and the clock says 7:28, and I'm just like, I'm bummed, right? Because I know the best times in the world on this workout are going to be somewhere in the mid fours. This is a workout where the elite of the elite really show how far ahead they are of even the really good, and that skews perception a little bit because when the top time in the world on this is 4:01 and there's a whole handful of guys that can go under 5 minutes, 7:28, I mean, they're finishing at 50% faster, right? This isn't something where like, the best in the world were getting 40 more reps, 343 instead of 303 on the first workout, right? That's a little over 10% better. No, the best in the world were 50% faster on this workout. And so in my mind, I'm pissed. I know I can go faster. I know that this is already probably not a great workout for me. I'm thinking like, damn, my chances are shot. I'm toast. And the reality is that it did not fully shake out that way. There just is a huge separation at the top for the elite on a workout like this. And 7:28 was still good for a top 2% time in the entire world. Combined with my first week score, I am still 150 spots clear of the cut line. With hopefully that being my worst workout, I should feel okay about it. But again, we're now sitting in like 1058th place. The top 1200 are going to get to move on. I've made it a lot closer than I should. I tried to rerun that workout, so I got that 7:28 time on Saturday and thought, okay, I've got a run in. I'm going to take Sunday off. I'll do a little like walkthrough. I'll kind of think out strategy on Sunday. I'll kind of do all that stuff. And then Monday, I'll come back and hit it hard. So that's another 2 days of me just agonizing, seeing people's scores come in, knowing I could be better, all this stuff. I get to Monday and I was really confident that I was going to at least improve upon my score, cut 20 seconds off, take it to 7:08 from 7:28. And it happens. I don't know for sure that this is what happened, but it happened. I my strategy of how I was gonna cut time off, I picked the wrong one. I There was kind of 2 different routes you could take. One was get to the muscle ups sooner, right? Get to the muscle ups another, um, 20 seconds faster than the first time, and then cut a couple seconds off of when you start doing those muscle ups for the entire set, and by the time you get to the end, in theory, you could be about 25, 30 seconds ahead of pace, or you could go slower in the beginning, conserve energy, get to the muscle ups a little later or even around the same time, but feel better and have the ability to go way faster and cut all your time off during the muscle ups. Should have done the latter, should have done that. Um, Chose to do the first one because I thought that would be the strategy. I was right on pace. I got to the muscle ups. I think I hopped up on the bar somewhere between 25 ish seconds and 30 seconds ahead of where I was the first time. and I had spiked myself so hard and just heart rate through the roof, was feeling it, that the muscle ups ended up going worse, and I ended up in the same spot and time wise. And then as I go to the double unders to finish with one more set of thrusters left, I actually feel twice as bad. And so the time slipped away, and I ended up quitting that workout as well because the time was going to pass, and I wasn't going to beat the score. It was going to be useless. So really a strategical uh effort, just execution, just failure all around on my part on this workout. At this point, I feel fucking lucky to even have gotten one score in that was okay. And you know, I probably am lucky. It could have been worse. I thought that this was going to put me right around the cut line. I'd be right at 1200th in the world, and we were going to have to. I mean, we're still going to have to fight and scrap in this final week, but we've got a little bit of wiggle room to work with. That being said, we can do nothing about the second week. It's done. It was a great and mental and physical test. Trials and tribulations, a speed bump in the road, an obstacle that I'm going to have to get through, and there's nothing we can do but wait for the workout to come out for the third week tomorrow and fucking hammer it. Figure out a way to get a score that gets me into the semifinals because that's all I can do and it's all that I have in my control. I feel good about that. I still feel fine about that. Um, as we go into week 3, again with the rumors and the leaks, there's been lots of, people basically know the workout at this point. There hasn't been an official leak of like a graphic of the exact workout, but there's several different versions floating around. The rumored movements, pretty agreed upon, is going to be rowing, deadlifts, and wall walks. Um, which all makes sense. Haven't had any three of those. Excuse me with the yawn. Haven't had any three of those movements yet. Um, Deadlifts would make sense because we need some sort of heavy weight. And I think it's going to be 225, 155 for male female weights, which isn't heavy, but depending on how many reps you put in there, it could be heavy. Heaviest thing we've got to this point is a 135 thruster or the dumbbell in week 1. So we got to have something heavier. Wall walks is a great movement where, depending on, again, the amount of reps in there that you put, and the chunks that you put them in, separates where, everyone can do one wall walk, but can you do 15 or 20 or 25 wall walks in a row? Nothing else. Like, you just have to keep going. That's a big separator from, your average CrossFitter to the elite. And then rowing is a thing where, hey, how much capacity do you have? Like, straight cardio machine, how much power output can you sustain? Um, and then continue to do other movements. So this would all make sense. Uh, there's a few rumored variations of the workout, uh, where the consensus right now, or kind of the middle point of what I'm hearing, is it's going to be about 10 minutes, or it's going to be for time, and the top times would be around that 10 to 12-minute time frame, and it's going to have it's going to be something like 50 calorie row, 50 deadlifts, 50 calorie row, 25 wall walks. AMRAP in 10 minutes, or put another 50 cal row on the end of those 25 wall walks and make it for time. Something along those lines. I think that is good for me. Um, Tested out some deadlifting yesterday in training, pulled an all-time PR of 455. I think I had more in me. I think 475 is in the tank. That came out of nowhere. Haven't deadlifted over 415, 405, 415 in a very long time. So feel pretty good about the deadlift. I mean, 225 is now 50%. When you get to move 50%, that's not bad. Also ran a workout that had 45 deadlifts at 50 pounds or 40, 45 deadlifts at 225 and went pretty fast. Felt pretty good moving that bar, way better than I have in the past. So I should feel confident about the deadlifts. I definitely feel confident about the rowing. I don't do as many wall walks as I should, but I've probably, I'm probably the best I've ever been at wall walks right now as well. And so we have to trust that our fitness is there, find the right strategy, um, relax, go have fun, and fucking and murder it. Um, this is exactly where I want to be. If you told me I was within the cut line after 2 weeks, and I was looking at week 3, and there was going to be rowing in it, and I was going to have an opportunity to make the semifinals for the first time since I made this my goal in 2021, September of 2021, I would have told you, sign me the fuck up. That's where I want to be. And that's where we're at. We have to take advantage of that opportunity, realize that we have that opportunity and most people don't, and go capitalize. So I'm excited. We'll see exactly what the workout is. Um, the next time you hear from me, I will have unofficially either made or not made quarterfinal or semifinals. And so that's a big deal. There's a lot that's about to happen in the next 7 days, 8 days. Um, should be an interesting update next week. We'll talk to you then.